I am being specifically vague on location, specific details, and gender, because I do not want this person to come after me if they were to find out. These details do not alter the revenge. I know it's long, but the revenge was satisfying. Hateful Hendrix, the faculty member who hated me, TP, tough professor. Back in 2004-2005 I was in college, majoring in education and minoring in political science at a semi-local to me college. I was a commuter student, living about 30 minutes away. I already had all of my pre-reqs done, had my associate's degree from the local community college, so I was able to jump right into the major classes, starting with a 200-level class that was set up to help students format their portfolios that you use for the entirety of your program, and that also allow future employers to see examples of your work. I signed up for HH's class because everyone I talked to absolutely loved HH. First couple of weeks of class go fine, no issues, except that HH treats sophomore-level students like freshman-level students, but whatever. We get into late September, October and it's election season. I am a member of my school's political group of my choice, and have presidential buttons on my backpack. That is the only thing I had political on me, and I did not speak of politics in class. I have always been of the opinion that politics don't belong in the classroom unless it's a political science, current events type class. I came to class one morning, and HH apparently saw my buttons, and began an all-out assault on my views, telling me that I would allow my political affiliation to enter my classroom. I didn't really respond, but did say something to the effect of, "My politics will stay outside of my classroom." HH then began talking politics in the classroom, multiple times, saying that city governments should be able to specify what political signs could be in people's yards, that bumper stickers should be policed as to not offend anyone, and that anyone of my political party should be barred from working in a school because they would corrupt students. HH also told a story of something that happened in her rural community a couple of years back about a student at the local high school who put a flag pole in their truck bed and went around flying a flag that pissed them off. HH said that the police should be able to tell the kid what they could and couldn't have in their truck bed. HH then decided to say in class, openly, that ADHD isn't real and that those who claim to have it should be punished for lying, because it's a made-up condition. I am ODHD. The autism was undiagnosed at the time, and pretty open about my diagnosis at the age of 7, prior to ADHD becoming the thing to be diagnosed with. I was the only kid in my class that had to go to the office every day for midday meds, and I struggled in school because of how little was known in 1988 about ADHD. For the most part, I stayed quiet, but would respond every now and then to something that really upset me. The ADHD conversation upset me, and HH cornered me, asking me if that upset me and if I was going to cry about it. I told HH that their opinion is their opinion, but I believe they're wrong and left it at that. HH then reported me to the ethics committee for the education department, saying that Happy-Go-Lucky Ocean has an anger management problem and is a danger to students. I presented my case to the committee, and the committee determined that I could stay in my program if I got an additional 3 letters of recommendations from other faculty, and I went to counseling at the college counseling center and I released my records to the committee regarding this situation. I agreed to both of these stipulations without issue and went about my way. I went to the counseling center, spoke with one of the counselors, who, after hearing the entire situation, stated, "You don't have an anger management problem. The two of you just have opposite personalities and just don't take HH again." Wrote up the note saying exactly that, and sent it to the ethics committee. I turned in my additional recommendations and went on about my way. I escaped the class with an A because there was literally no way HH could give me anything but because all of my work was turned in and was done properly. 2 semesters later, I'm taking one of my last classes before teaching methods cohort and its exam day. This class was notoriously the toughest class prior to methods, and the professor for the class was absolutely a tough grader. Sitting there working on my exam, the door opens. Having ADHD, it distracted me and I looked up. There stood HH, wanting to talk to TP. I turned my head back to my exam and went on with what I was doing. HH then turned me into the ethics committee again because I glared at them when they came in the room while I was taking an exam. I was called back in front of the committee and asked about the situation. I told the committee what happened, and it was eventually dismissed. Here's where the revenge comes in. I spent much of my teenage years helping family friends, one who happened to be on our state's education standards board. We were chatting one day after the second incident regarding the ethics committee, and I said something to the effect of HH wants to say I'll bring politics in the classroom, but yet they're the ones who made my life a living hell over 2 damn buttons on my backpack. The family friend then asked me if HH was working on their doctorate at another close university, and I told them yes. They then said they'd take care of it, and that was the end of the discussion. Come to find out, about 6 months later, HH did not pass their dissertation defense and was refused another chance at defending it. I didn't ask for anything to be done, but in the small world in which we live, HH decided to screw with the wrong individual, and the right individuals found out, and instead of me getting kicked out of my program, they got kicked out of their doctoral program, which was way more time and money down the drain. Moral of the story? Always remember that you don't know who someone else knows. You never know who you may be screwing with.